ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground right here!
You have no signs that say no trespassing, and it freaking says public entrance. You cannot detain me for videotaping.
14, me personally, he ain't going nowhere. You're here with what, Dad? Ain't no sense having him sit in the car with handcuffs on.
Okay.
You ain't. If he was 18 and you might be taking him to jail for possession of stolen property, different. But you ain't gonna take him to jail, right? It's gonna be a petition.
These were multiple times when corrupt cops get destroyed by higher authority, starting with a case of a good officer who stops bad officer's mistake.
If he was 18 and you might be taking him to jail for possession of stolen property, different. But you ain't gonna take him to jail, right? It's gonna be a petition.
On January 14th, 2021, a resident from Harnett County, North Carolina, reported to the Fuquay-Varina Police Department that her dirt bike had been stolen. The bike was a valuable possession, and after a few weeks of searching, she tracked down the potential thief on Facebook. The seller appeared to be in possession of the stolen dirt bike, and the resident arranged a meeting to confirm this. Upon meeting, they identified the bike through its vehicle identification number, confirming it was the same one that had been stolen. The resident then informed the police, providing a brief description of the seller and his name, Malcolm Ziegler. 16 days after the initial report, 2 officers were dispatched to Mr. Ziegler's home to investigate the possibility of felony possession of stolen property. As the officers arrived, they began questioning Mr. Ziegler. One officer placed him into handcuffs almost immediately, despite not having verified any details or confirmed the facts about the stolen bike.
Okay, what's your name? Malcolm?
Yes.
What's your last name? Malcolm Ziegler?
Yeah.
Okay, you got your ID on you?
No, I do not.
Okay.
But that wasn't us riding. We haven't rode at all this week.
Where do you stay? You stay here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't rode at all today. He literally just came by here.
Who's that guy? Who's that guy running down the street?
That's his friend. They stay somewhere up there.
Okay. Do me a favor, man. Go ahead and put your hands behind your back for me, okay?
Can I get the bill of sale and show you that I bought it?
Yeah. We'll get all that taken care of, man. But what I need to do is just hang tight for me right here, okay?
Gosh, what did I do?
Just hang tight for me right here, okay?
According to the U.S. Supreme Court, detaining an individual without verifying essential facts could be an unlawful seizure, especially under the Fourth Amendment. The officer's actions were later scrutinized by legal experts, with the potential for the detainment to be ruled illegal if it lacked probable cause. During the search, Mr. Ziegler, who was 14 years old at the time, told the officers that he was a minor. The officer continued his detainment, placing Mr. Ziegler in the patrol car, while one of the officers attempted to contact Mr. Ziegler's father to locate a bill of sale. Despite this, Mr. Ziegler offered to provide a bill of sale via his phone, hoping to prove that he had purchased the dirt bike in good faith.
Well, I'm going to work on getting you out of those soon, okay? Just keep cooperating with me. I appreciate it. And we'll get everything squared away.
Stole before. I don't.
Okay. And sir,
I'm trying to find the bill of sale.
Sir, and I'm not saying that you stole it. Right now, what we've got is we just got a stolen motor vehicle. We're not saying that you stole the vehicle. Okay, I'm not saying that at all. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But it still is a crime to be in possession of a stolen motor vehicle. So he's talking with your dad right now.
I can show you if you can go on. You can go on my phone. I can show you exactly what I bought.
Okay. Okay. Hey, how you doing, sir? Hey,
Dad, I need that bill of sale.
Reason all this is going down, that vehicle's been entered as stolen into National Crime Information Center. Do you have the bill of sale by any chance, sir?
I don't know where it is. It's either in my room or in the garage.
You gotta tell me where it is, Malcolm. I saw y'all sign it, but what did you do?
After contacting his father, the officers were still unable to resolve the situation. In the meantime, the initial officer faced questions from his fellow officers about the legitimacy of Mr. Ziegler's detainment. One officer pointed out that a juvenile should not be treated the same way as an adult and noted that they would not likely arrest a minor for possession of a stolen vehicle without substantial evidence. This conversation raised questions about whether Mr. Ziegler had been arrested or simply detained. In the process, Mr. Ziegler's father and one of the officers returned to the house to search for the bill of sale. As they were doing so, another officer discussed the detainment, expressing concern that the first officer had not sufficiently validated the circumstances before handcuffing the minor. The conversation focused on the officer's discretion, and it became clear that this was an area that required further attention. Eventually, Mr. Ziegler's father located the bill of sale, and after reviewing it, the officers released Mr. Ziegler with no charges filed.
Hey,
Is he detained or is he?
he's detained right now because he is.
You did
He's
not.
14.
He's 14.
Yes.
Okay.
So I already explained to him he's detained right now. I told him that
So why is he detained?
because that's a stolen motor vehicle.
Okay. He's 14. Me personally, he ain't going nowhere. You're here with what, Dad?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no sense having him sit in the car with handcuffs on.
Okay.
You ain't. If he was 18, and you might be taking him to jail for possession of stolen property,
All right.
different. But you ain't gonna take him to jail, right? It's gonna be a petition.
Yeah.
So you can step out. We're gonna take the handcuffs off.
It was clear that he had been the victim of a scam, having purchased the bike in good faith from someone who had falsely sold it to him. But wait for this next case where a trooper stops bad officer misconduct. On August 4th, 2021, William Barnwell, a resident of Alabama, was driving home with his wife from a vacation in North Carolina when they encountered probation and parole officer Harold Mashburn. While traveling behind Mashburn, Barnwell grew frustrated as Mashburn drove below the speed limit in the left lane. After passing Mashburn, the officer motioned for Barnwell to pull over. Barnwell complied but was confused as Mashburn was not a police officer but a probation officer. Barnwell questioned Mashburn's authority to stop him, noting that probation officers typically do not have law enforcement authority to pull over vehicles or make traffic stops.
Sir, you can film me all day long. If you're a police officer, you should have a body camera. Because you're not a police officer. It says right there you're a probation officer. I'm not on probation. I've never been in trouble for anything.
In the state of Alabama,
Tell my camera again how you're a police officer.
will you answer my question? I've answered yours. Now, let me ask you a question. In the state of Alabama, what are your probation officers considered to be?
I have no idea. We're not in Alabama.
Okay. Do you live in Alabama? Because your tag says you're in.
I guess when a police officer gets here, we'll determine a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, okay.
How often do you pull someone over?
How often? I
How,
pull people over
how
for
often do you
13
drive in the left lane for 5 miles going 48 miles an hour? So how fast were you going?
I was doing 55.
And what happened?
You come flying up on
No,
my back
when I
end?
passed you, I was going
And then-
48
and
miles
then
an
you
hour.
were doing
But if your
exactly
car here, that's not a police car, had the radar in it, you would know how fast I was going.
Yes, sir. And I'm able to do speed estimations.
I'm sure you will be. I guess when your real police officer gets here, I'm sure I'm going to get some tickets.
All right. Well, you just stay tight. Just hang tight, okay?
What's your name? Would you like to identify yourself?
Have you going to give me your driver's license?
You're not a police officer.
Okay, then you just sit tight.
So you're refusing to identify.
He'll give
You're
you
refusing to identify yourself.
Just sit tight.
You're refusing to identify yourself, even though you pulled me over.
Sit tight.
Am I being detained? Am I being detained, sir? Because I've got to go home. Are you detaining me? Are you detaining me? Am I being detained? Hey, I'm going to step out. Because you're... Am I being detained because I need to be on my way? Is this a lawful stop? Am I being detained? Are you detaining me? Are you detaining me? Is that hard to understand? Because you know this is not legal.
Probation officers are responsible for supervising individuals on probation or parole, but their authority varies across states. In North Carolina, probation officers do have some law enforcement authority, but they do not have the general power to enforce laws or stop random vehicles. Despite this, Mashburn attempted to detain Barnwell, who repeatedly asked if he was being detained. Mashburn failed to give a clear answer, leaving Barnwell uncertain of his legal status during the stop. Barnwell, feeling his rights were being violated, called 911 and waited for a uniformed officer to arrive. After approximately 30 minutes, a police officer arrived and allowed Barnwell to leave without further incident.
Sir, you know you pulled me over 15 minutes now. How long is the Terry stop?
Just calm down. One, if you'd relaxed and had a conversation with me here, we'd probably both going about our ways of doing our jobs. You going home and me going to do my job. You understand what I'm trying to tell you?
I understand what you're trying to say.
The only thing I was doing was stopping you, getting you pulled over, so one, you calm down and quit endangering other people's lives.
I wasn't endangering nobody's
Yes,
life.
sir.
Hey, sir.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good, good. Now, look, I don't really fully understand what
Me either.
we're doing right here. Okay, so he just felt like you were aggressively coming up on him. He's a probation officer. Okay, so I'm not gonna write you for anything. I'm not doing anything like that. Okay, like you got your insurance here.
I'm
sure
wound
your
up, and
license are good. I
you're
understand.
unwinding me. I appreciate
understand,
that.
Okay, so where you headed to? You headed back home?
Home to Alabama.
Okay. All right. So look, one of those things. Okay. You may have come up on him a little quick. He may have, it's one of them things. Okay. So as long as, I mean, like I said,
I'm good. I'm good now. I'm calming way down.
I don't have anything to write you for. I don't have anything like that. I'm not going to do any. Even if I'm not. It's not my stop. He just feels, he just felt like you come up on him a little hard. You might have been a little aggressive. So if that is the case, let's just back it down a little bit. You're nearly to Georgia anyway. So,
That's why I say I can
what
I
I'm
appreciate
saying?
it.
So,
The incident drew local media attention, and North Carolina's Department of Public Safety confirmed that Mashburn did not have the authority to conduct traffic stops. However, this next case unfolds a good cop who gets bad cop fired and arrested. On July 26, 2021, Officer David Lance Dukes of the Orangeburg Department drew his gun and ordered 58-year-old disabled man Clarence Gaillard and his cousin Mario Julian to the ground in a parking lot. Despite Gaillard attempting to comply by getting on his hands and knees, Officer Dukes forcefully pushed him down, causing Gaillard's head to hit the pavement. Dukes claimed that he believed Gaillard had a gun, but body camera footage contradicted this, showing that Gaillard's hands were clearly visible and raised above his head throughout the encounter.
Hey, let me see your hands. Berg, get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground right here. Get on the ground. You, burgundy shirt, get on the ground. Over here. On the ground. On the ground. Get on the ground. Do you not listen? Get on the ground. Is there a gun back there?
no gun.
By that truck.
No gun.
You're not listening, dude. Bro, you got a gun on you, man?
No, I ain't got no gun.
right,
I don't
I'm just
own
asking.
no gun. I don't
Turn back over. Paul, do you watch him say? He had something.
I ain't own no gun.
The door's unlocked in the car, so.
No, he was right here. Watch him. Go watch him. There it is. All right, that's what he had. All right, who's the complainant? All right, get up, get him up.
Put your leg up.
25 cents, got one tank.
Alright. Put your leg that way so you can stand up.
All right, listen, I'm about to help you. Hold on, hold on. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right.
Yep.
Listen.
Yep, they slammed my head
Listen.
down on the cement. Yep.
Go back inside. Go back in the house. Go back in the house. Ain't nobody talking to you.
I got head drummer.
Go back in the house.
Yep. Y'all bust my head down. Yeah, I've been in an accident. Yep. Y'all bust my head down. You threw me down.
I sure did.
And-
You wasn't listening.
Yep. No, it ain't. You ain't to throw me down like that. I'm disability.
Okay.
I got head problem. Yep. You threw me down. Yep. You threw me down. You threw me down. Yep. You bust my head down on the cement. Yep. You bust my head.
All right, let me tell you what.
His forehead.
You bust my head down on the cement.
He was in front of the car when I came up. And he was walking like this. And I thought it was a gun at first. I said, drop the gun, drop the gun, drop the gun, drop the gun. Had him at gunpoint. And he's over here doing something like this.
You slammed my head.
What he was doing is putting this up behind the tire. So he comes over right here. He got his hands in his pockets. I'm telling him, let me see your hands, let me see your hands, let me see your hands. He wasn't listening. He got the, like this right here, and we went onto the ground.
Dukes' excessive use of force, including stomping on Gaylord's neck or back, violated the principles outlined in the 1989 Supreme Court case Graham versus Connor, which states that a police officer's use of force must be reasonable based on the circumstances. Here, the severity of the crime was minimal, and Gaylord was not resisting arrest. This raises questions about whether Dukes' actions were both unreasonable and unnecessary. Dukes' subsequent report also contradicted the body cam footage and other reports, including false claims about Gaylord's resistance. Moreover, when asked for a business card, Dukes lied, claiming the department did not issue them, a claim that Sergeant Pador immediately corrected.
Can I get a card for me?
I don't have one there. We don't have one. They don't give us cards.
Okay, what's your badge number?
1059.
Let me see if I can get my phone.
Hold on. We have cards. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Brandon, he can get this stuff off the car.
Will you say badge number?
1059.
Dukes was fired 2 days later for violating use of force policies and was charged with first-degree assault and battery, which could carry up to 10 years in prison. However, this next case unfolds: good citizens who stop officer from misconduct. On July 3rd, 2021, officers from the Elkhart Police Department responded to a reported disturbance at a hotel in Elkhart, Indiana. They stopped 3 teenagers, demanding they identify themselves. The teens, along with bystanders, insisted they were not involved in the incident. One bystander recorded the encounter, questioning the officer's authority to detain them. The officer claimed the hotel manager wanted the teens removed, yet failed to properly investigate before escalating the situation. Indiana law requires individuals to refuse to leave before they can be charged with trespassing. However, the officers detained the teens without confirming whether the hotel manager had directly asked them to leave. Furthermore, Indiana does not have a stop and identify law that applies to criminal investigations, meaning the officers lack the authority to demand identification without reasonable suspicion of a crime.
Okay, you do. I'm here investigating a disturbance, which gives me the right to identify you. That gentleman there does not want you to come back on this property. So for me to log the truck, it doesn't matter. He doesn't want you on. It doesn't matter.
Talking about us.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He doesn't want you guys back here. And to verify that, I need your names so that if you do show up again, you can then go to jail. Okay? What is your name? Before I put you all in handcuffs and take you all to jail. Then you're gonna.
I ain't going to jail for that.
Okay. What is your name?
Are they being detained, officer?
Yes, they are.
Under what penal code?
What's your badge number? What's your badge number?
Good job.
Hey, what's your badge number? What's your name, sir? You have the right to give me your badge number. Yes, you do.
Policy.
I'm trying to identify these gentlemen and they refuse to identify themselves.
Hey, don't say it like that. Badge number. Please, badge number.
Is there any way that since I'm an adult, y'all can't release them to me and I can take them off the premises
Because
right
we
now?
can't verify that you are the parent or guardian.
Ma'am.
We can't. So again, I'm going to ask again before you all want to does that make sense? What is your name? We can't just release
Well, hold on, let me talk to them. Let's talk to them.
But if they weren't part of the confusion, then I don't understand what's going on.
I told you multiple times. You're not in trouble, man. But if you keep playing this game with us,
I want him to come out. I want him to come out here before I say anything else.
They gone. They went out the back door.
whatever you
Huh?
do.
They went out the back door.
No, I'm talking about the manager that said that we was because he know it's not us.
No, it wasn't them.
Exactly. That's why I want him to come out here.
He doesn't want to come out here right now. Okay?
Man,
He has a job to do, which is inside. No. because he doesn't want you inside. He doesn't want you on the property. Regardless,
So,
it doesn't matter.
in Indiana, doesn't the trespass law mean they have to be asked to leave, and then if they refuse their trespass, because none of them have refused. Have they been asked to leave? If they've been asked to leave, they're free to go, right?
No.
Right.
Name.
Right.
You gonna give me your name yet?
I want dudes to come out here, though. Oh, yeah, here he comes.
Eventually, the hotel manager clarified that the teens were not involved, leading officers to release them. This incident reflects a pattern of misconduct within the Elkhart Police Department, which has faced previous allegations of excessive force and corruption.
These are not them. Alright, these are not them.
So, would you like these gentlemen also trespassing the property?
We didn't have nothing to do with it. Yes. No, they had nothing to do with it. Alright, man, get my...
Stand up.
Yes.
So,
It was taller boys who are probably already all gone because they knew that you were coming and they don't want to deal with police.
Okay.
He come out here.
No, but when I walked in, he pointed to you gentlemen.
Man, that's all him to come out. You just got my name for nothing. You just got my name for nothing. It wasn't that hard for him to come out here and clear it up. He trying to put it here to take it.
Sure, because you're not cooperating.
He's not doing his job
It's easier
right.
for me to control the
Not doing his
situation.
job right.
I am doing my job right.
See, y'all don't
What's your name, badge number?
They was talking about, they was in there talking about gunplay with this dude, man. That's
Sure,
what I said,
and
y'all
when I
didn't have
got
nothing
here,
to do with it.
listen, when I got here, he pointed to these gentlemen.
We told you it was
Okay, the description that he gave. I can't take your word for it when he pointed to you.
He was already
He did.
in there.
He pointed
He
to
was
you.
already in there,
He
bro.
pointed to you.
I don't want to
Okay.
have your conversation.
That's why.
Name and badge number, please. Is an Elkhart policy for you to identify yourself to the public?
My guess is they probably left.
Okay.
Because they all probably have their licenses.
That's fine.
And they drove off because they didn't want to deal with you guys tonight.
That's fine.
You don't know what they're doing either, man.
The officers in this case received an F for their failure to investigate properly, misinterpretation of Indiana law, and attempts to detain innocent individuals. Meanwhile, the teens and bystanders earned an A+ for staying calm, challenging the officers legally and preventing an unjust arrest. But this cop bravely stopped officer misconduct. On January 2nd, 2018, in the early morning hours, Officer Cheryl Dickerson of the Roswell Police Department in Georgia noticed a golf cart driving down Highway 9. She initiated a traffic stop and found a 13-year-old boy behind the wheel. When questioned, the boy claimed his mother had allowed him to borrow the golf cart, but he struggled to provide details about where she worked. Officer Dickerson informed him that driving a golf cart on a public roadway was illegal, then ordered him out of the vehicle, detained him, and placed him in the back of her patrol car.
You're driving around in your mom's vehicle?
Yeah, I asked her if I could borrow it. She works at the Roswell.
At the Roswell what?
Up there. So yeah, I asked her if I could borrow it for a few minutes. And she said, yeah, just be safe. And
Okay, you understand that you cannot drive a golf cart down the road, the roadway.
I really didn't understand that. So do I have to,
How
like,
old are
drive-
you?
I'm 13.
You're 13?
Is that wrong?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Like a car could slam into the back of you, not realizing
Do
you're.
you want me to like to drive it?
Well, hold on. What? Do you have ID on you or anything like that? What are you doing out here at 13 years old?
I'm going to Starbucks.
You're going to Starbucks? Where does your mom work?
She works up in Roswell. I'm just
At Roswell what?
like down there in Roswell.
Where does she work? What's the name of the
The
business?
apartments. The Roswell apartments. She like is manager over there.
Okay.
However, the situation escalated when Sergeant Daniel Elsey arrived and took an unethical approach to questioning the boy. Elsey sat in Officer Dickerson's patrol car, turned off the heat, and rolled down the windows despite the freezing temperatures reported between 12 and 18 degrees. He told the boy, he ain't gonna say anything if it's warm, indicating his intent to use cold exposure as an interrogation tactic.
He's seatbelted in.
Hey man, here's what I'm going to come back and ask you for.
Oh.
Your mother's name, your mother's phone number, and the address where you live. You understand that? Please don't it.
Oh, sorry.
Facilitate a little. You think for a few minutes about where you live, and I'll be back with you in a minute. Officer Dixon, you can come in my passenger seat for a few minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, he ain't gonna say anything if it's warm.
If what?
I said he ain't gonna say anything if he's sitting there in the back seat and it's warm.
Oh.
So he can sit over there and be cold.
Well, okay.
That's why I rolled your windows down.
Oh.
That's fine. Give me a
And
few minutes to think about it.
should I call an 85 for the golf cart?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let him get a little chill. Maybe that'll.
All right, partner, what's your name?
I'm sorry. Getting cold yet, Anthony? You can take it. Cool. So can I. Because I've got heat in this car. So here's where we're at. Elsie with the Roswell Police Department. Look at me when I'm speaking to you. My name is Sergeant Elsie with the Roswell Police Department. Okay? You can't be driving a golf cart in the streets. You understand that, right? I'm pretty sure that's not your golf cart. Is that fair to assume? Where did you get the golf cart from? What school? Yeah, I can see your breath. It's pretty cold back there. Keep telling me. Speaking of, what's Mom's name? You don't know Mom's phone number. All right, well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna drive to this address you gave me. You live in Alpha. To this address, you gotta hang tight right here, since you can't remember Mom's phone number. And if I can make contact with Mom, then we'll get some heat going.
He's freezing him out. He's about to drive to the address that he gave, and Mom will turn the heat on in the car. It's chilly, chilly.
Signal 18 for wrong way driver.
Aw, man. Is it cold in the car, you're asking? Yeah, it's freezing in there. Well, he's got all the windows rolled down and the heat off.
After nearly 20 minutes, Sergeant Greg Freisen intervened, condemning Elsie's actions and ordering the heat to be turned back on. The boy was eventually released into his mother's custody, and the golf cart was towed. Despite this incident, no disciplinary action was taken against Sergeant Elsie until the 11 Alive news team obtained the body cam footage 7 months later. Shockingly, Elsie was awarded Supervisor of the Year in April 2018, while the department ignored his misconduct.
Huh? Stay over here? Are they having some super secret?
We're gonna be on our way, okay? We'll see you in a few minutes.
In this next case, good cop defends citizen from his fellow officers. On June 24th, 2023, Officer Sado of the Cleveland Clinic Police Department stopped local resident Keith Geeston during a workout in the Cleveland Clinic parking lot in Cleveland, Ohio. The officer had received a report that an individual matching Mr. Geeston's description was allegedly looking into vehicles. The interaction began when Officer Sado grabbed Mr. Geeston's arm to physically detain him, leading Mr. Geeston to begin recording the encounter.
You're about to get a lawsuit.
I got a call that you're looking through people's cars and
You're about to get a lawsuit.
You fit the description.
You have no
Red t-shirt,
legal
white
right.
shorts.
You have no legal right
Call that you're looking through people's
to put your
cars.
hands on me.
Sir.
This
Sir.
is an assault.
Sir.
What's your name and badge number?
Sir, can you please turn around?
What's your name and badge number?
Officer Sidoti, 190.
You're about to get
What's
a
your
lawsuit.
name, sir?
You have no legal right to ask me my name.
Sir, we got a
or
call
to
that
put
you're
your
looking
hands
through
on
people's
me.
vehicles. All right, and you won't identify yourself, you wouldn't stop, and you're on
You have
private
no
property.
legal right to identify me.
We got a call that he was looking through people's vehicles. And he wouldn't stop.
This character saw me up on the hill exercising, going through the lot. He started his car. He was up there sleeping or reading or something. Follow me down and stop me over here. I exercise here every day.
Okay. I'm here.
He put his hands on me
I've never
with
seen
no legal reason.
We got a call that
I
you're
got it
looking
on
through
film.
people's cars. Okay.
What's your name, officer?
Officer
What-
Buchanan.
Look, he has no reason to ID me. No legal reason. You all about to get a huge lawsuit. I got him on camera assaulting me for no legal reason.
Despite Mr. Geeston's objections, the officer maintained that the detainment was based on reasonable suspicion, citing the nature of the call. The situation drew attention when Mr. Justin repeatedly argued that he had not committed any crime and had the right to refuse identification.
You saw him assaulting when you walked up. Am I right? Absolutely. You did.
Sir, I just need your ID.
You're about you escalated this thing. We're not going back. This is a lawsuit now.
Okay. All right.
This is a lawsuit.
Sir, we got a call that you're.
And I'm suing you personally
We got a call
for
that
putting
you're
your
looking
hands
through
on me.
people's vehicles.
I'm dressed to exercise. I do this every day. You're going to pay
That
me.
we were looking through people's vehicles. So
That's
I'm
no
responding to the
reason.
call. I'm
That's
responding to
no
the
reason for you to put your hands on me.
You wouldn't
and
identify. You wouldn't stop and
you
talk to
gave
me.
me
You would
no
identify yourself that
legal
you're on
reason.
private property.
Name a legal reason. You should have thought this out before escalating. Get Garfield here. I'm staying here now. This is a police report, bro. We're not going backwards from here. I'm sorry. Nothing personal against you.
Okay.
He should have never put his hands on me. I have a legal right to defend myself when you do it. Either that badge does not give you the right to put your hands on me.
I got a call that you're looking through
You
people's
questioned me about it. What did I say?
And I have. A
What
right
did
to
I
identify
say?
You too. When I'm
You don't
speaking
have
with
you.
You're on private property.
You don't have name the legal right that I have to identify, and I've committed
What's
no
your
crime.
reason of being here?
And I've committed no crime. I've told
What's your
you
reason of being
several
here?
times.
Exercising.
I'm here
correct?
every day.
You have no Cleveland Clinic business.
Let's see
And
if
you're
this
on private
stands up in court. You can't grab people up on a say-so. You didn't see me. You observed me for at least 45 seconds to a minute, and I confirmed what you saw. Irrespective of what someone said, irrespective of you getting a call, you have to articulate what crime I've committed that I have to ID. I know my rights. How you doing? You Garfield?
Police, yeah, I'm Garfield.
My name is Keith Golston.
Nice to meet you.
This I want to file a police report. I got this guy on film assaulting me without probable cause, grabbing me, trying to twist my arm behind my back, putting his hands on me.
You know what the yes, you have a right to do what you need to do, but this is a clinic, which means it's private. So if they ask you to do something, you gotta listen to them.
No. Let's test that leak.
Sir, this is a private.
No, I don't want to, bruh. It don't.
You can't even. You're not even supposed
Bruh,
to be filming here.
you don't know what you're talking about because
Don't tell
he's
me I don't know
claiming
what I'm
you
talking
don't.
about.
You don't know what you're talking about. He just claimed that this was private property.
It is private property. Which
Yeah.
means you have to do what they ask you to do.
No,
Yes,
I
you
do not.
You can't use this as a gym.
Hey, look.
I understand what you're saying. I do.
However, the security guard from Cleveland Clinic stated that filming in the parking lot was prohibited because it was private property. This raised the issue of whether private property owners could impose restrictions on activities like filming, even in areas open to the public. Based on precedents set by past cases, it is likely that the Cleveland Clinic, as a private entity, had the right to regulate filming on its property.
I can do anything I want to do, man.
This is a private
Yes, I
property.
can.
You're not supposed to be filming here.
Stop me then.
Well, see, that's where you go wrong. You can't. If I went to your house and you asked me not to do
This
something,
is not my house.
Whatever.
We're outside on
doesn't matter.
in the
If
public.
it's your property, then you got a right.
Whatever his name is, I'm filing a lawsuit for assault and battery.
So these guys, they have a right to talk to you.
They don't have. He doesn't have a right to put his hands on me, bro.
I don't know-
We were all right
yeah.
when we were talking.
I don't know what lead to that, but
I wanna.
what,
I'll tell you what.
lead to that? Why he?
I'll tell you
why
what.
the guy,
Bruh.
This officer asks you to leave, and you don't leave. That's a crime because they're going to be criminal trespass.
He didn't
It's
ask
a
me to
private-
leave.
It's a
He
private
didn't ask me to leave.
place,
You're making
okay?
stuff up now.
I'm not. That's why
Bruh,
I asked you.
Do you have a supervisor here?
Yeah, we do have.
Okay, let me file a report with your supervisor.
Despite the tension and arguments, Mr. Geeston followed Officer Buchanan into the Cleveland Clinic facility to file a report about the encounter, though it remains unclear whether he formally pursued legal action or if any disciplinary measures were taken against Officer Sado.
Now, I want to file a criminal complaint. You guys are the reporting officers.
No,
I want to file.
This is Cleveland Clinic.
Did he call you?
Yeah, they called us.
Y'all don't have no jurisdiction? on-
That's that. They are police department.
Where's the supervisor for Cleveland Clinic Police
Right now
Department?
it's me, but my supervisor's at home. And you
Who is here today that besides you that I can make a report about this incident?
My partner, but
Let's get him here.
he's not a supervisor. He's right here, right behind me.
What's your name, sir? We can talk now.
All right, what's going on, bro?
You heard what was going on.
Yeah, I heard what's going on.
Right.
All right. So do you want Marcus's number?
Now I wanna get something legally on paper right now.
You want to write it down on a statement, or you may just write this down now? I'm gonna get your statements like that. Want me to go do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Now I have business on the property, right? No, I'm talking to him.
Man, so he just grabbed you and stuff like that?
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
I stopped and I talked to him and I let him know exactly what I was doing.
Yeah. I just wish.
We're gonna take it through the proper channels.
Yeah, I'll give you my name. It's like that. You want to go somewhere else, or you just?
Yeah, I want to go sit down.
Yeah, let's go. Should have never got that ad on too.
In this next case, Lieutenant defends citizen from lying cops. On January 14th, 2022, First Amendment auditor Free Press North Carolina, also known as Mr. Press, conducted an audit at the Burlington Police Department in North Carolina. After filming in the city hall and filing a public records request with no issues, he moved to the police department to film the police vehicles parked outside. Officer Delgado approached Mr. Press and asked what he was doing, suggesting that he was trespassing and potentially taking pictures of police vehicles illegally. Sergeant Marsh then arrived and detained Mr. Press, claiming suspicion of trespassing because he was in a police-only parking area. Mr. Press questioned the legitimacy of the detention, asserting that filming in public was not a crime.
Tires are mostly in good shape. Can't tell entirely, but they're, generally speaking, they seem to be good tires. Hi! What are you doing? Just checking out my employees. What's up? What's your name, badge number?
Delgado.
Delgado, you have a badge number?
I don't.
Okay.
What's your name?
I'm not gonna give that.
So what are you doing?
Just checking on the Burlington employees and seeing if you guys are doing a great job.
About
You're keeping, yeah.
through the cars?
Yeah, I want to make sure you're keeping the officers safe with like good tires and you're not leaving out passwords to NCIC. He said I need to, so I was asking, do you want me to come talk to her or do I have to? Am I being detained?
Yes, sir. At this point, yes, sir.
Okay, for suspicion of what crime?
Okay, you're walking around taking pictures of police cars and so forth. You don't have any business here.
Is that illegal? Is that illegal?
It's only supposed to be police back here.
And your name, badge number?
I don't have a badge number. Sergeant Marsh.
Sergeant Marsh, okay. You said I'm detained. And I said suspicion of what crime?
What are you doing back?
Suspicion of what crime? What's your RAS?
You to leave, sir.
What crime have I committed?
You need to leave.
If you'd like to stand on the sidewalk and do
He
what
told
it
me
is
I
you're
have to
doing.
come here and I'm detained.
I
So
didn't say that. I didn't say that.
you said we need you to come here and you said I'm detained.
Talk to you. So I need to talk. You want to go over there, take on the sidewalk, take pictures? You're more than welcome, but you can't be back here.
So the sign that says public entrance is not a public entrance?
If you have business here. You have business here?
Am I required to answer that question?
Okay, sir. At this point, you're being asked if you want to go over and take pictures.
I know I'm being
you're
asked because you don't want to infringe on my rights, which is why you've not ordered me to, but you still have me detained. Are you going to undetain me or am I still
You're
detained?
not detained.
Okay.
You're more than free, but you
I can do what I want. Thanks. It's a public.
Sir, you can go on the sidewalk and take pictures. You have to stay on the sidewalk.
Where's the sign that says it's authorized personnel only? There's actually a sign in here that says public parking right here. You tell me I'm detained in a public parking lot with no signs? That's bull crap. Back off.
Well, sir, you need to understand.
I don't need to do crap. You detained me for nothing.
Sir, you need to leave the parking lot.
Give me your supervisor.
I am the supervisor.
Give me your supervisor, the LT. This is bull crap.
Madam,
Notice I'm not talking to either of you guys this way. I'm not talking to either of you guys this way. I'm talking to him this way. You have no signs that say no trespassing, and it freaking says public entrance. You cannot detain me for videotaping.
I didn't
Why were you all in that car?
I wasn't in a car. If you find evidence of me being in a car, then bring me in and RAS and detain me and we'll talk.
And that's why we started speaking with you, because
You can't detain me to figure out if I committed a crime. You're a freaking sergeant.
Yes, sir. We can.
No, you cannot.
Throughout the interaction, Mr. Press maintained a firm but respectful stance, asserting his rights. Sergeant Marsh, while remaining professional, misunderstood the concept of reasonable suspicion, leading to an unnecessary detention. On the other hand, Lieutenant Beckmer handled the situation with professionalism, clarifying that Mr. Press was free to continue filming in the public public area. Mr. Press left the scene after being informed that he was free to go, and later amended his public records request.
What was the RAS? Reasonable, articulable suspicion.
You're looking at vehicles, possibly breaking into a vehicle.
Did you suspect me of breaking into a vehicle?
I did.
Yes.
I asked him what he suspected me of, and he said, film it.
I seen you, and I called my sergeant.
And that's why I got
but
out.
that's what you need to articulate. You didn't do that until now. He was telling me that I was suspicious because I was filming around vehicles. You will not get my name. I am not trespassing, and I will not leave. Probably a court's not going to care about a 5-minute detention, which is why there probably won't be anything from this unless you keep escalating.
I'm not escalating anything. You are.
You did.
Here's our lieutenant.
Fantastic.
What's going on, man?
Howdy.
How are you?
I was doing pretty good.
Okay.
Tell him at the sergeant. These two folks are incredibly professional.
Good enough.
He hasn't escalated a single thing. She said she had razzed me breaking into a freaking car. She was very polite at first. Once he escalated, she jumped on the bandwagon. But generally, they've been good.
Okay.
He is a train wreck. How you just treated me was a train wreck. I should say that. I don't know you, Sergeant Marsh, so I shouldn't have said that. I apologize.
Basically, I was told by Officer Delgado that he was actually looking at vehicles, possibly breaking into cars. That's why he's here.
He didn't tell me that. He didn't say that's his Raz. I said, you got Raz, detain me. And he said, you were filming, walking around cars. So
Let's go ahead and remove him from the situation, right?
Okay, all right.
Okay, so moving forward, how can we do something for you here? You can
Allow me to
film
go
all
by
you want in the
visit.
back lot.
Thank
know
you.
what I mean? If you need paperwork, tell me what you need. We'll
All
try
right.
to get it for you. They're going to close pretty soon.
Understood, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm good to go. I'm just here to quietly exercise my rights and not be impeded.
Okay.
And not be detained. We good?
More power to you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir.
Take care.
Be safe.
Peace. Keep it up, bro.
However, this next case unfolds. Informed sheriff and chief who defend citizen from corrupt cop. On April 7th, 2024, independent journalist Justin McHenry, the owner of the Random Patriot YouTube channel, visited the Lenoke County Courthouse in Lenoke, Arkansas, to film the publicly accessible areas of the building. McHenry, who has built his platform around First Amendment audits, aimed to document how public officials respond to citizens exercising their constitutional rights. As McHenry filmed the interior of the courthouse, he approached a security checkpoint where he was met by a courthouse deputy. The deputy, noticing the camera, immediately questioned McHenry's purpose.
Hello, I was just reading your signs real quick. I'm working on a story. I was just coming in to work on my story here in the building. I don't need to go in the courtroom. What's that?
Don't record me.
Do you work for the public? Who do you work for, ma'am?
I work for the sheriff's office.
Okay, then I can record you. It's actually my First Amendment right to do that. If you work for the government, I'm allowed to record anyone that works for the government in their course of duty.
Anything you have in your pockets goes in the bucket.
Sure. I'm not here to start anything with anybody. I just wanted you to know that. Can I get your name, please? Mabel's? Okay, thank you. I'm Justin. Is this sign talking about these stairs right here, the restricted area? I don't want to go anywhere I can't go, so I just want to make sure. I can't? Okay. That's what I was asking. I'm just working on a story, just looking at everything that's for display in the building. Right now, I'm just trying to document everything that's in the Lone Oak building. Y'all shut the door on me?
Oh, we were just talking about
Talk about me?
No.
Why you shut the door on me then?
It wasn't on you. We just sometimes close the door like when court's going on and we're having
Okay.
conversations.
So you don't care if I'm filming, but as soon as I leave, you're gonna shut the door on me?
No.
Oh, I can ask you. Well, you're like, hey, go check out this, and then the door shuts.
Oh, no, I was just talking to her.
Hey, go outside and look at that, and then the door shuts.
That's historical.
And then the door shuts. You're being weird. You guys are being weird. You didn't need to shut the door on me.
You are welcome to film here. Like, I don't have any problem with that.
I'm not-
I don't have any problem with you standing in here, and actually closing the door had nothing to do with you.
Okay.
Is there anything that...
No, I don't.
From this office?
I don't even want to bother y'all anymore. I was just kind of like, that was weird. The door got shut on me.
Excuse me.
Oh no. I'm not combative. I was laughing. You got. When was I being combative? When was I being combative?
You want me to lock it?
Well, you can't do that. If you lock it, then you need to lock it for everyone.
The exchange escalated when a courthouse official stepped in, stating that the courthouse had a policy against filming inside the building. However, McHenry pointed out that policies do not override constitutional rights. He referenced several court rulings that have upheld the right to record in public places, particularly government buildings, where there is no reasonable expectation of privacy. Eventually, a higher-ranking official arrived and reviewed the situation. After some deliberation, the official conceded that there was no enforceable law preventing McHenry from filming in publicly accessible areas of the courthouse. The officers reluctantly stepped back, allowing McHenry to continue his audit unimpeded.
Something that you said or something that you did, she felt was aggressive. So it.
Well, I have it all on camera, thankfully. Thankfully,
the right to ask you to move on.
No, you actually
if
don't.
They feel that way. Because
Trump's
my job
feelings.
is to secure them from the public.
But you, no, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I promise you, it's not.
Go down the road, please.
You can't.
Thank you.
All right. I'm not going to interrupt anything.
I'm not going to argue with you.
All right, I'm not going to argue with you either, sir. Can I get your name real quick, please? Do you work for the public?
I do not.
So you don't have any business
Get out
telling
of
me what
here.
to do? No.
Go on.
If you don't work for the public, I don't want to hear from you, sir.
And you're interrupting the court.
I'm not interrupting anything.
Just go.
Hey, if you quit talking to me, I'll quit talking to you, and then there's no sound. So what am I
You just
am I
want to argue
interrupting?
with somebody, so just go.
I'd rather you just left me alone, honestly.
Well, you started it. Go.
No, I didn't. She told 2 lies right off the bat, and I have it all on film, but I'm not being combative with anyone. I've been extremely polite. All I've done is ask questions about the building and about Lone Oak, trying to find out more about the history, and I have it all on film from the very second I got here. This all started when I was actually just talking to some ladies down here in this back office. They were being cool. They're like, oh, you can film, check this out, check that out. And then they're like, hey, check that out in the hallway. So I go check it out in the hallway, and the door slams behind me. But it didn't shut. It kind of slammed and came back open. So I was just like, what? Did you guys slam the door on me? What's up, guys? It's just me.
How are you?
Hey, no, I'm cool, man.
This is Sheriff Staley.
Hey, I'm Justin, dude.
Yeah, what's up?
I didn't know
I
don't mind talking to him again. I'll tell him what happened again. So, yeah. So I have everything on film since the minute I got here. I'm just checking out. I'm learning about the history of Lone Oak, about the courthouse. I've been extremely polite with everyone, just like I am right now. The very last one on the left, I was just in there, and they were cool too. They're like, hey, check this out, check that out. I don't care if you film. And then they were like, hey, go check out those little cannon pushers out in the hallway. So as soon as I walk out in the hallway, they slam the door behind me. But it doesn't shut, it kind of slams and opens. And I kind of laugh and like swing it back open, and I was like, I'm not trying to bother y'all. If you don't want me in here, no problem. I was just wondering why y'all said check this out with a smile and then slammed the door behind me.
Yeah, okay.
And then that was it. That was literally the height of the disaster. The only rooms I went in that were clearly for the public to go in, you know.
Yeah, like this here. So people
Yeah.
know we need to educate them, and we'll work on educating them. I'll do that with all the
Awesome. I appreciate you, sir.
All right, man.
Have a good day. You guys need to be more picky about what you hit the emergency button for. That was not a good thing to do. They're kind of upset about that. Yes, sir.
What's your page name?
The Random Patriot.
The Random Patriot. All right, man. You
Thanks,
need
brother.
something to call me?
Yes, sir.
The sheriff's office is at the end of town. Feel free to head back.
I might do that. Cool.
We're there.
All right.
This next case unfolds a sergeant who defends citizen from corrupt cops. On December 31st, 2016, YouTuber and First Amendment auditor Philip Turner, operating under the BTO Size channel, was filming a traffic stop near Interstate 35 in New Braunfels, Texas, when he was confronted by Deputy Cameron Chelly of the Comal County Sheriff's Office. The deputy demanded Turner move, claiming he was interfering and encroaching on private property. A dispute arose when the deputy asserted that filming inside a vehicle constituted a privacy violation requiring owner permission. The situation escalated when deputies demanded Turner's identification, claiming he was a witness to a crime and refusing would lead to arrest.
What's that?
Can you go stand back over where you work for me, sir?
There's something wrong with being here?
Yes, sir, there is. I don't want you to be in direct line with that vehicle. I'd like for you to go back to where you were standing. You can continue filming all you'd like, but I don't want you right here.
Am I interfering?
Well, technically, now you're starting to pose into somebody else's private property with your videoing. Yes, sir. Hey, did they give you permission to film inside their truck?
I don't need permission out in public.
In somebody's vehicle?
I don't need permission out in public.
No, not to film us. You're correct. But to film inside somebody's vehicle, that's an extension of their house, and that is a private place. So you do need somebody's permission to film inside their vehicle.
But is that a crime?
Do you have your information? Your driver's license?
What's that?
Do you have your driver's license or name, date of birth?
For what?
Because now you're a witness to this crime that we're doing.
What crime is that?
Crime that we got these people in the back of these cars for.
I don't know what crime they committed.
You don't have to know. Okay, they broke the law. They're in possession of narcotics. That's why they're in the back of our cars. So, do you have your name and date of birth?
No.
Or a driver's license?
No.
So you're going to refuse to be listed as a witness since you sat here and videotaped the entire scene?
If you need a copy of the video, I can give you a copy of the video.
Well, yeah, but we're also going to need to identify you in our report that you were here videoing, so when we come to get a copy of that video, we can get that.
All right, let me talk to your supervisor.
He said that he won't want to give us his name and date of birth until he talks to our supervisor. So.
And you probably gonna end up going to jail because right now you're witnessing a crime.
The deputies also claimed Turner was trespassing on private property, which was inaccurate as he was filming from outside the fence and had not been given proper notice to depart. The sergeant eventually intervened, engaging in a productive dialogue with Turner, realizing the legality of his actions, and allowing him to leave without providing identification. This outcome highlights the importance of requesting a supervisor in such situations. Turner then filed a formal complaint with the sheriff's office and requested body camera footage, demonstrating a proactive approach to addressing police misconduct.
Well, I asked to talk to a supervisor. He's here, so why can't I speak with him?
Because you're refusing to give your information, you'll be going to jail for failure to identify as you're a witness to a crime.
So I need to give you my ID to speak to your supervisor? Is that what you're telling me? So he needs to get educated on that because that's clearly not the case, okay? Now, am I currently being detained here or am I free to go?
You're free to go, man.
Well,
I'm here. I came all the way from Cane Lake to talk to you.
We need to identify him now.
Okay. Like I said, I already told you, I'm a journalist. I gather content for stories. That's it.
Hey, we had no problem with that, man. We just don't like the space.
In contrast, Sergeant Montz, despite initial misconceptions, demonstrated professional discretion and a willingness to listen, contributing to de-escalation. Turner's calm and informed demeanor, coupled with his effective follow-up, underscores the importance of citizen auditors in holding law enforcement accountable. However, in this case, cop defends citizen against his partner. On October 7th, 2023, Daniel Toulis, a civil rights activist, was pulled over by Officer Jonah Dior of the Denham Springs Police Department in Louisiana. The incident, captured by both Toulis's camera and Dior's body camera, began with Dior's demand for Toulis to stand in front of the police vehicle, which Toulis questioned. Dior claimed the stop was due to improper lane use, alleging Toulis was veering. Toulis countered, stating he hadn't crossed lane lines, referencing dashcam footage as proof. The situation escalated when Dior demanded Toulis's identification, and a pat-down followed, justified by Dior as a safety measure. Toulis argued this was an illegal search, citing the Fourth Amendment.
Do me a favor, stand in front of my unit, please.
I can stand where I want. You can tell me what you pulled me over for.
Okay, so for my safety, I want you to stay in front of my unit.
And for auditor safety, I would like for you to tell me why you stopped me.
So
Who are you?
I will in just a second. Hey, man, stand in front of my unit.
I can stand where I want, dude.
Not on my traffic stop.
Not on my traffic stop. What do you want? What did you pull me over
Do me a favor, you can put the cell phone down.
No, I can hold my cell phone.
When it interferes with a...
It's not interfering. Recording.
It is.
Turner
It
versus
is.
driver says it is not interfering. Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi, as Turner versus driver, have every right to film y'all. What did you pull me over for?
So the reason why I stopped, I noticed you were veering back and forth.
Oh, don't give me the... It's all on dash cam.
Are you going to let me explain, or are you going to keep bumping your gun?
I'm going to keep bumping my guns because I have every right
Got
to
your
talk.
ID on you?
What do I need to get my ID?
Improper.
What law did I break?
Improper lane use.
Improper lanes. I was in my lane. I got dash cam to prove it. I never broke line either side.
You don't have to break line.
Dude, I
That
didn't
says
do anything.
veering back and forth. It's improper
Veering
lane
back.
use.
I was not veering back and forth.
This ain't the courtroom. May I see your driver's license, please?
This is not the courtroom.
Nope.
This
May
is
I
not
see
the
your driver's
courtroom.
license, please?
So you're pulling me over saying that what? I'm
May I
drunk?
see your driver's license?
You're saying
please,
that I'm
sir?
drunk?
I'm not. Are you
Okay.
having a medical episode? Are you distracted? Are you tired? Have you been driving for a long time?
I don't answer questions. How about that?
Take a look at your driver's license, please.
Okay.
Actually, got any weapons on you? Turn around, face
I don't
my
answer
unit.
questions. And this is going to be an illegal search.
Turn around, face my unit.
Really?
Place your hands on top of your head and interlace your fingers.
I am recording you. Oh, okay. You see these people?
Now, spread your feet. Now it's an officer safety thing. You need to learn the law. So right now, I'm going to be quiet. Shut your mouth. So I can conduct a lawful pat frisk for weapons for officer safety.
It's called Terry versus
And
Ohio.
I gave you 3 lawful commands and you sat there. You got 1 time. Yep. and you just messed up.
Officer Dior's partner, referred to as Sanjay, intervened, acknowledging Toulis's right to film, a right protected by the First Amendment as established in Turner versus Driver. Dior, however, referenced potential restrictions on filming near officers, which Sanjay corrected, clarifying the current legal stance. This exchange highlighted the ongoing debate about filming police, with recent legislative attempts in states like Arizona and Indiana facing legal challenges.
Be quiet. If you step any closer to me, stand right over there. If you step one more foot closer to my unit, I'm going to take it as a threat, and I'm going to act accordingly.
Despite the tension, Dior eventually issued a warning and allowed Toulis to leave. The incident, shared on Toulis's YouTube channel, raised concerns about Dior's conduct, particularly his attempt to restrict filming and the seemingly unjustified frisk, Dior's shifting explanations for the stop, and his admission of past cell phone confiscations further questioned his adherence to constitutional rights. Officer Sanjay, while acknowledging Toulis's filming rights, was criticized for not actively preventing the unlawful frisk. But wait for this next case where a corrupt sheriff arrested by city cops. On the evening of March 22, 2020, in Espanola, New Mexico, Philip Chacon barricaded himself in his home, prompting a standoff with the Espanola Police Department, EPD. Shortly after, Rio Arriba Sheriff James Lujan arrived and attempted to interfere, ordering EPD officers to withdraw. This unusual intervention raised suspicions, particularly given Sheriff Lujan's apparent communication with Chacon during the standoff. Consequently, the EPD obtained search warrants for Sheriff Lujan's personal and work cell phones, suspecting his involvement in obstructing their investigation.
You're in charge?
Yes.
Pull your people back. I'll bring him in.
Bring who in?
Phil Chacon? That's who you have a warrant for?
Right.
Pull everybody out. I'll bring them in.
I don't want to pull them out.
Huh?
I don't want to pull them back.
Excuse me? I'm not asking. I'm telling you. I will bring him in. Okay? We don't need to make this bigger than what it is.
Hey, the sheriff just pulled in, and he's asking us to pull back, and he'll pull him in. But he's been drinking. I can smell it on him. We're gonna need somebody. Huh? Yeah. Okay, we need to pull somebody over here, somebody above me, because he's already pushing his weight around with me, so. Okay. We're not pulling back. Hi. I'm waiting for, I told Jeremy's calling Command 1 now. But do you smell it, or am I the only one who smells it?
Yeah, please do something about it.
Right?
On May 14th, EPD officers served these warrants at the Rio Arriba Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Lujan, however, resisted compliance, handing his phones to Undersheriff Martin Trujillo and demanding to speak with his attorney before surrendering them. The situation escalated as Sheriff Lujan and Undersheriff Trujillo attempted to evade the warrant's execution, leading to a confrontation with EPD officers and the arrival of Espanola Interim Police Chief Roger Jimenez.
Hey, Undersheriff, how are you?
Good, yeah.
Good. Is James here? The sheriff? We just need to speak.
Yeah. Hold on. Hello, sir.
Sure.
You want to do it in there or you want to walk?
In here? What?
Just have a couple of seconds. Hold on once. For your cell phones. So, one on your personal cell phone, and one on your phone cell phone. So, go to your contacts. Do you want?
Hold on to that. Filed today? You have your phone? Call Nate. Casados is not. Is this for which case? What case is this?
So that is in reference to stemming from the original charges.
Which one? The misdemeanor?
So that one.
You got a search warrant on a misdemeanor.
Are you going to comply, yes or no? That's all I want. I want the phones. That's it.
I told you. You have your search warrant says to search me for personal phones?
He has the phones. He already told me he has the phones.
Okay. That's not what the search warrant says, does it?
Okay, so you want us to lock down the sheriff's office? Go ahead and call them back. You're going to stay out here, sir. Stay out here. For what? Because... No.
Roger.
Under sheriff?
You can go through the court system.
We are. We're going to lock down this building until he gives me those phones.
Really?
Yes, that's what the DA's office was.
Really? Yeah. Where's that on paper?
You can call her. Andrea Reed. You want her number?
You can call her.
He's going out.
You're not going to stop me from leaving if I want to leave. Am I under arrest?
If we have to.
Am I under arrest?
Not
Good.
now.
Get away from
Not now. Go back inside. We're going to lock down the office. Please, go back in the office. Seriously.
Don't touch. Back up.
You can go in the office, but...
Back up. Don't touch. Don't reach. Back up.
Go inside. Because you're not certified, so...
Back up.
This is all harassment and retaliation because I told the city council that you shouldn't be the chief. That's what it is.
Think whatever you want.
I don't think, I know.
Okay.
That's exactly what it is. Go ahead and give it to him. These phones are not to be gone through until you have a warrant for the content. You only have a warrant for the phones,
You're
not the
absolutely right.
content.
You're absolutely right.
And good luck, and you better not come through a magistrate. You better go through a district court judge.
Thank you, Undersheriff.
Go.
Thank you. Have a good day, sir.
Despite the clear legal authority of the warrants, the Rio Arriba deputies prioritized protecting Sheriff Lujan, raising serious concerns about their adherence to legal standards. Further complicating matters, after finally obtaining the phones, EPD officers discovered that Sheriff Lujan had not surrendered the correct device. This led to an arrest warrant, and on May 21st, Sheriff Lujan was arrested, facing additional charges for resisting arrest. The incident exposed potential departmental corruption and a disregard for legal protocol, with the EPD criticized for their leniency in allowing Sheriff Lujan to circumvent the warrants initially. Make sure to subscribe for more interesting videos like this. Thanks for watching.